But as a friend of JJ, does it concern you to think like you'll be like, all right, bro, you need to even try get into some sort of fight camp just to keep it on top, tip top?
If you push me and you're disrespecting me,
That was
then
the heat of the moment. Give me Adam Soleh. He doesn't have anyone his height. Give me him. No, don't happen.
Oh, you're trying to get me back into coaching.
You did. Listen, I did one.
I feel like that's part of the problem, though. You know, you can be too far one way. I feel like he's too chill.
All right, guys, welcome to the very first episode of the Viper Sports Show here on Viper Sport. We're starting this off with a bit of a bang, to be honest with you. I mean, you'd think we'd ease into it with, you know, relatively, with all due respect, small guests, but no, we're going into the deep end straight away. Obviously, delighted to be joined by VIDDAL Riley. If you don't know, get to know. I know you already know. If you follow me, you already know. I know you know. But VIDDAL, first and foremost, bro, thank you so much for making time for our channel. Small community, but you know, you went out your way to make time for me, so I appreciate that a lot.
No, come on, you have to, man. You have to. You helped me out, so I have to help you out. That's how the world works, man.
Of course, bro. Before we get into the good and the bad of the boxing world, what we're gonna do to start off this show is, for those who don't know VIDDAL, you know, we got to find out what kind of person he is. You know, we gotta really nail it. Food is a big thing in life, so we're gonna start off with 3 food questions to figure out what type of person you are. All right. So first and foremost, cereal first or milk first?
Always cereal first. Always.
Thank you. I was about to say thank you very much and leave if you're gonna say milk first, because that's
no. Come on, man. We all know that's the wrong way around, man.
Go to Nando's order.
Ooh, probably the wings. You know, so I'll probably get like 5 wings with spicy rice and coleslaw. But if I'm not trying to diet like that, then I'll probably have the fight. I might have the 10 wings roulette thing with garlic bread and fries. Okay. Yeah. Bare carbs.
You know what? Coleslaw is slept on, bro. It's a nice thing. It's a nice.
No, listen, it's a perfect side, man. It brings everything together, so I'm all with it, man. I'm all for it.
Definitely. VIDDAL's a wingman, if you didn't catch that. Chinese or Indian to finalize this segment? We're going Chinese or Indian? Please don't let me down on this one.
I'm gonna let you down, bro. I don't know what you prefer, but I'm going with Chinese. But I don't really eat either or, you know. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Now, of course, you're elite athlete. You have to stay away from it. But you know,
But if I was gonna go for it, I'm going for the Chinese thing because I like getting the duck with the pancakes and that the cute. And if you frown on it, you're not a real one. I'm not saying you can't prefer.
No. Of course.
Cuisine, but the duck, hey, listen, that's my thing.
There's gonna have to be a day where I show you a proper Indian, bro, like homemade stuff.
Yeah, you know, I'm open to it. I'm open to it. You show me and change my mind, bro.
Of course. I'm gonna do that's my number one mission, to change VIDDAL's mind now from Chinese to Indian, because I just got to do that. We can't be having that. But listen, man, what's popping up with you? You know, we know that you potentially have a fight coming up. Nothing confirmed as of yet. What's the day-to-day for you right now?
Day-to-day is kind of long still. It's just training, man. It's quite repetitive, as you know. Boxing is repetitive. It's not like MMA. You don't have one wrestling session, one Brazilian jiu-jitsu session. You're always perfecting such a small window of skill, which is obviously to be elite with the hands, so that requires repetition. So a lot of training, recording some videos, you know, always trying to keep that side of things popping as well.
See the podcast popping up now as well. You're getting the big guests on.
Got a couple guests on there. You know, it happens. It goes in waves. That's why I keep going. I keep doing what I'm doing, because it's all waves, man. You know, when it's your wave, you got to strike. Whilst it's hot. And then people forget about you for a little bit. It's a process. But right now, videos popping, doing well, and training. So I'm just enjoying the wave until the next wave, man.
Yeah, you got a big one coming out. Oh wait, this drops on Sunday, so I don't know if your BJ Flores one is out by now. You're putting that one.
That will be out. Yeah, that was recorded. Actually, I recorded it just before I hopped on with you. Okay. So it's done. It just needs to be edited, put out, and hopefully we got similar success to the Ben Askren interview. That one was trending, 500K in a couple of days. So people are banging it. Yeah, man, people are banging it. So hopefully with the BJ Flores one, he said I asked him a few interesting questions as well, you know, to get the answers out of him that people want to hear. So yeah, man, looking forward to it, bro.
Have you sort of figured when your fight date is? Is there any Any
So
more
there's no
confirmation?
date. There's no date as of yet, but we're looking at end of May, beginning of June, hopefully.
Yep.
Just waiting on my manager. Spoke to him earlier as well, just to try and get that confirmed. But we have to prepare in training camp, and
Yeah.
better to be prepared than not. So as soon as that is confirmed, and that's all through, at least I'm ready.
Yeah. I know we spoke about it briefly when I last saw you at the studio. But
Yeah.
for now, your ever-growing fans, you're getting more of a following by the day. Probably intrigued why you don't fight in the UK and you fight abroad. Any sort of answer to the younger fans that might not understand why you do
Oh,
that?
to the younger fans, it's really simple. I signed with a US based team, signed with a US promoter, Mayweather Promotions. My manager, Amir Abdullah, who also is manager of Badu Jack as well, who's also signed to Mayweather Promotions. So my career is more on the US soil, and
Yeah,
it's once you get to world level and a higher level, the worlds collide. Your opponents will, from each nation, if they're worthy of the fight and it makes sense, it will happen. So it will get to that stage. It will get to that stage, and I'll have a big homecoming. But for now,
definitely.
we're just grinding away.
Bro, that homecoming, like genuinely, it's gonna be big. You ain't gonna be a problem to, like what? You're four fights in, 5, 6. The guys that have early fights. Usually they struggle to get on those cards because ticket. That ain't gonna be a problem for you. You can headline if you want,
No,
really.
well, hopefully, man. Hopefully, you'd like to think that out of all these subscribers and followers, people will buy a ticket to watch me fight, and I truly think that my real supporters will come out and show up for that fight. So I'm looking forward to it.
The realist fans. All
Always.
right, cool. Obviously, we just mentioned Ben there, and I can't avoid that topic because it's fight week by the time I launch this.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's a given. But you did interview Ben. What was he like? Because he seemed really, really cool. And I watched the Impulsive podcast today as well. He just seems laid back. He doesn't care, man. He's
No,
in there enjoying it, and that's it.
I feel like that's part of the problem, though. You can be too far one way. I feel like he's too chill. Obviously, he's achieved a lot in the sport that he normally competes in, but I don't think he cares enough about the outcome. I don't feel like he knows the outcome. He explained to me that the outcome doesn't change his life in any way. So I feel like with that, Jake's got more to fight for than Ben. And
Definitely.
with that and being more skillful, I think he gets the win. But Ben as a person, calm guy, man, easy to chat to. He elaborates on his answers. He's quite witty as well. Like he knows what to say. He knows how to get to you a little bit. He proved that at the press conference. So yeah, nothing but respect for Ben Askren.
What I found interesting, obviously, your one, there wasn't really any sort of animosity between you two. You just asked for it. You got the interview. You did it. It was chill. I don't know if you watched the Impulsive podcast that they dropped today with Logan, but they were just trying. They were trying every second. They were trying to get a little bit under his skin. Ben was just answering back like, "Yeah, couldn't care less, to be honest. Let's move on."
Yeah, it's his problem, isn't it? That's the thing. That's why I have a feeling my podcast is gonna do bits long term because, bruv, I don't care. I'm not. It's not going on Impulsive. Obviously, a bigger podcast than mine, and it's a bigger platform with who's involved. And respect to Logan. I actually rate Logan, but it's his brother, isn't it? So he's not gonna be unbiased. It's hard to be unbiased.
I expected him to pick on him basically and try to get under his skin, but it was just the fact that the way all of them were trying, but they just failed. Like they were looking at each other like, what the hell do we do to this man to try? They
he's smart. He's smart. Yeah, he's smart, and they know that. Right, with Ben, he's one of those people. Like, if you're beefing him, you're the guy that's the problem because he's actually bare chill. So with other people, you could say, nah, he's a bad guy. But with him, you can't really say that, man. You just need to fight, man. Let your brother fight him, and then see what happens, man.
Yeah, that was it's pretty cool. It was nice to see someone. It's just that he's a completely different personality of a fighter. Like, not to categorize all fighters aren't the same because everyone has, there's a chill fighter, there's a fighter that like to cash talk. But he's very different in the way he approaches it. I don't know why. There's something about it. One thing that has been floating around, even with my friends, when we were talking about like, this fight, and we go back to JJ. Obviously, you're not coaching him anymore. You're focusing on your own thing. But one thing we all as JJ supporters, and obviously we want him to win, being from the UK, that concerns a lot of fans is the fact that his inactivity. Now, obviously, he's doing bits with his, own endeavors. He's doing his music. He's probably still training from what I gauge, running, going to the gym, but nothing like a fight camp. Whereas Jake, on the flip side, he's literally had I don't know how many months of actual fight camp. There's a difference between training and fight camp, right?
He's been training. Anyway. And that's what BJ shares with us in the interview that's going to be coming out. He explains more in detail what Jake's been doing and tries to give everyone a better view as to why he's so confident in Jake's ability, which is good. And I'm glad that he used my platform to voice that. So, Jake's been putting in the work from what his coach has said, and we'll see next Saturday.
What I wanted to ask, though, was, does it, as a friend, sort of concern you where that fight, where it will come around? In my opinion, there's no way that's going to not be made. There's too much money to be made, regardless of what you do in your career. There's too much money there, so they're going to do it. But as a friend of JJ, does it concern you to think like you'll be like, all right, bro, you need to even try get into some sort of fight camp just to keep it on tip top shape? When that fight doesn't come around,
JJ has new coaching staff. He has experienced coaching staff. So I'm expecting them to know the fight game and make sure that their fighter is prepared. When it was my job, I made sure he was prepared best I could prepare him. Whether he boxed like how I taught him on the night or not, he got the results that we needed, and I put enough into him to get him through. Now the baton's been passed on to someone else. I would love for them to be better than I was. Definitely. I want them to be better than I was because he's dealing with a better opponent. So I'm not worried. I have confidence that he made the right decision. I have confidence that the people who are more experienced than me should be able to deliver if I did. So no worries. Yeah, no worries.
Definitely. Well, that's I guess for the fans of KSI, because whenever I put up a video, it's always like there's that running argument of JJ needs to fight, he needs to get out.
Always, yeah.
So it's understandable, and I guess coming from you it's very well put. It's up to the experienced coaches that he does have now. And if you could do it with barely any coaching experience ever, definitely not in the professional scene, you just implemented your knowledge. It was mad. You say you got him ready, mate. You were ready. At the weigh-in, you were Shannon. That was jokes, man.
Listen, and again, I have to make it clear to everyone at home because people get confused sometimes. I respect Shannon Briggs, as the fighter he is or was, and he achieved things that I haven't achieved, and maybe things that I will never achieve, especially category-wise, being that guy. But if you push me and you're disrespecting me, then...
That was the heat of the moment. That was definitely the heat.
No. If you're disrespecting people, then you got to expect to be disrespected back, because whether it's you, whether it's me, if someone's disrespecting you, you got to say your piece, right? You got to defend yourself. So that's all that situation boiled down to.
I was just thinking, I was looking at it, I was like, I've never seen like you from all your I've seen your fights, I didn't see that side, but that was goes to show you push me now, you're gonna get it, mate. You're gonna get it. It's coming on the floor.
There. Believe me, it's there, and for the right people. But more time,
definitely. Moving on, this YouTuber versus TikTok, I know you made a video about it as well. It's mad because me and you know boxing. You know more boxing than I do, but I know enough boxing to say it is mad that a TikToker is headlining some sort of fight card and is getting paid 5 million. Do you know how mad that is? 5 million. That is crazy. It's insane.
And this is where people get jealous and people go, how can this inexperienced guy get that much money? But what people don't also remember is that the highest level of boxers, they get paid well because they can bring more attention. It's all boiled down to attention. So I know normally in the traditional world, you have to work your way up the ranks. You have to become a world champion in order to get that attention. What these men have done is they've cheat coded the attention part. So they don't have to do, they don't have to grind for attention. They let me rephrase, they've grinded in another sector. They've grinded in another avenue for attention. So now, whether they kick a ball, play basketball, punch each other in the face, that has already been they've already been discovered and they're already popular.
It would never be Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, you carry on. I'll say it after. Sorry, I didn't mean to go.
Yeah, so it's like they're getting paid that much and their skill level is basically zero,
Mm,
but they've conquered the other aspect which normal fighters struggle with, selling tickets, the pay-per-view buys. Them man can do that in abundance. So that's why I rate them for getting those paydays.
Therefore, it's mad though, because if it was any other sport, it has happened. Like Sidemen did the football thing. They do, I'm sure of celebrity NBA games and stuff like that, basketball games, I should say.
Mm.
But in boxing, it's much more picked up on because it's just an open sport. Like there's just everyone.
Yeah.
It's an open yet closed off sport. Like everyone kind of knows everyone within the scene, but it's huge. Do you know what I mean? It's just like an open market for anyone to do whatever
It
they
is.
want.
There's no running governing body, which is
Yeah.
what makes boxing accessible because you don't have to go through the NFL, you don't have to go through the NBA, you don't have to go through the UFC. These are companies that they run their industry, and obviously there's promoters in boxing that are bigger than others, but there's still room for a guy like me and yourself to say, you know what, I want to hold a show. So we'll find a venue, get the licensing, and by the time you know it, Fuad and VIDDAL, excuse my language, promoters.
Let's go. Hey, I'm on it. You know what? You're saying me getting I want in on this card. I might not have the million of numbers, but I can move about a little bit,
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not?
Give me Adam Saleh. He doesn't have anyone his height. Give me him. Nah,
That'll
no
be a
problem,
skirt.
mate.
I see you on the back. I see you on the back on your Insta. I think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
liked it. I think I like that post. Yeah,
I think
because
you did.
he's putting a few combos together and I see you. Look sharp.
Listen, I can
Listen,
move. All I can say, I can move.
Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
I need to go back, delete that video right now. Delete that video.
Yeah, delete that, man. Make yourself look like an easy touch, man.
Nah, but yeah, no, listen, I mean, I ain't got no big numbers. On TikTok, we're doing all right. We've got up a bit. So if anyone from the YouTube world does look for I'm an easy opponent. I'm a small guy. If you want an easy opponent, just listen, Vidal could be my manager. Just ring
let them underestimate
you.
Let them underestimate you.
Nah, but yeah, definitely. It's exciting. I was always skeptical when they first did the first event with Joe and JJ. Didn't really realize how big it was gonna get. And now even away from the biggest events like the Jake's fight, potentially Logan Mayweather, away from that, the fact that it's still boiling up in its own sense with a full-on card with the likes of Deji on it. It's great, and it gives people I don't know, just something extra to do, on the side.
Of course. They get bored of getting millions of views. Me and you are out here, we're trying to get 1 million views. We're gassed and we hit 1 million views. Then man wake up, oh, another 2 mil, oh, another 1 million. They need something else to keep their brains,
I'll be honest, the TikTokers, they don't have to, bro, these men don't have to put it, they'll take their shit off, bit of lip syncing, they're popping their veins out. That's all they do. I'm here on TikTok, yeah? I'm providing information, like sat here, full-on professional editing. These men just pull out their. Listen, I can't knock them. I can't knock the hustle.
Listen,
they're doing what they're doing.
They're doing their thing. You're doing your thing. Yeah, and you'll grow. It will grow, bro.
Definitely. Let's move on to real boxing, if you want to call it that. With all due respect. Yeah. Now, my audience isn't the deepest of boxing fans, but they do know the casuals, so we'll keep it on the casual side. We'll start off with a fight that is confirmed. Heck, even some casuals might not know about this. But Canelo against Saunders is taking place, a big fight in the super middleweight division. If you don't know who Canelo is, this guy who can punch really hard. And Saunders is this guy who is very, very slick.
Very slick.
Talk to me about this one, man. This one is a long time coming. But as we are backing, I guess Saunders being from the UK, I'm presuming you are too. I just feel like it's the wrong timing. I just feel like it's maybe a tad too late. I don't know.
I think, obviously, I'm backing Billy Joe. But it's a difficult fight for him to win because he's fighting Canelo in his prime. He's fighting Canelo at a stage in his career where the experience, skill, and just pure manlyhood of strength, you're in your prime of strength. I feel like every human goes like this, yeah? You get here into an age where you start to go here. Canelo is literally at that point of strength where it's his peak, his skill is at his peak, and his experience, as we know, is more than, enough. I feel like Billy Joe has had a few performances where he hasn't looked interested, and it can make people lose confidence in him. And because he wanted this Canelo fight. So I feel like we're going to see a very good Billy Joe. The Billy Joe that we saw against David Lemieux, for those that don't know, banger from Canada, ex-world champion IBF. I think we're going to see that level of Billy Joe, but I feel like Canelo got a little bit more to give than Billy Joe, and it's going to end up in a victory Canelo's way. But I really want Billy Joe to pull his fight out of the bag, and if he doesn't, and if he does, sorry, I won't be surprised either, because if any style will be Canelo's style, it's the slick southpaw movement of Billy Joe.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
Even fight. I'd say it's I'm 60-40. I'm 60 Canelo, 40 Billy Joe.
Yeah.
In terms
Billy
of
Joe
the result.
The thing with Billy Joe is, though, it's not like any other normal fighter where you go, you've not had enough good fights. You've taken time off. You've gained weight and lost weight. You've done harm to your body. So we don't know if you're really going to go in. Probably not. Billy Joe's a madman. When he puts his mind into it, he can get back to that level.
Same as Tyson Fury. Same as Tyson Fury. It's a gypsy mindset.
No, exactly. Exactly. You know, Tyson Fury. Exactly the same.
They're not afraid. They're not afraid at all.
No, they're not. And but then again, the flip side, like you said, bro, watching Canelo these days, it's just watching someone so complete. He's my pound for pound #1 fighter in the world. Just a little thing. Look what he did to Tom Smith's arm. Like, just not even his face, his arm, bro. His arm was popping out.
He's smart, you know. He knows Callum had a good left hook. He took that left hook away. You know, he punished that arm, took that left hook away. And this is the level we're talking about. Someone who's knowing to damage your limbs, not just the obvious target areas of the body and the head. And you used to see it a lot in old school boxing, and he really is a throwback fighter. And he's using those techniques. So we need Billy Joe to be a moving target, pick, poke, and move. And obviously, then he's got another hurdle of boxing and the politics of boxing to get a fair decision. If he wins the fight, will he get the decision?
Yeah,
that's another difficult one.
It is. It's in Texas, right? So basically Canelo's backyard. He's just got to basically do a Lemieux. Like, he's got to just dominate the fight completely.
Yeah, he has to.
Yeah,
more than a Lemieux fight if possible.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. Let's move to the casual side of boxing, the heavyweight division. Anyone can know about the heavyweight division. I know all of you do. If you don't know about the heavyweight division, actually, don't unsubscribe. I'm trying to grow. Don't unsubscribe. I was going to say unsubscribe. AJ Fury. Let's start off with the creme de la creme. They're talking about the fight is somewhat agreed, bro. I'll be honest with you, as a fan, sick and tired of it. It's like you go on Instagram every other day. Yeah. It's like side deal done, side deal not done. Tyson Fury posts a picture of TikTok, like the time's going off. AJ saying, like, I don't know what's going on, man. It's difficult to understand, but they're looking for a site. That's the main thing. As someone that's, you know, involved in boxing and is a professional boxer, and you know the politics, you reckon we're gonna get it before the end of the year?
If there's crowds allowed more widely, then yeah. If it's not just between a few states in America and Gibraltar, or, you know, one of these places where you only can fit a few thousand people, if we can, by the end of the year, get back to normality and how we know boxing venues to be, then yes. I think Eddie Hearn literally is going to wait until there's a crowd. It's as a businessman, not just him as a promoter, but as businessmen, including the fighters, they will know to maximize their revenue, they need a full crowd. So there's really no point doing it before then. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
what I think is, if there is any hope of it happening this year, I don't think he has to even include crowds in the English stadiums. It's more so, I feel like the first fight's definitely going to be in an Arabian country. I think Saudi Arabia, buy one of those where it's not going to be a 90,000 Wembley stadium. It's going to be like a 30,000, 35,000 purpose-built stadium where they can get in, that many people. It'll come down to travel restrictions again, which is a bit more lenient, I think, than expecting a full 90,000 by the summer at Wembley. It makes more sense. So if there is any hope, it's going to be Saudi Arabia, in my opinion.
Shouldn't be there.
It's easy to say that, though, isn't it? Like, I agree with you, but if they're gonna offer like tens of millions to be like take it there,
it's hard for them to say no. From a business side, I understand why they're not saying no. I get it. But also, this is rare. This is the first time ever an undisputed heavyweight championship is being contested for between two people that are from Britain, from Great Britain. Do you know what I mean? And you know how big back in the day Lewis and Bruno was, and that was for the WBC. That's one belt, that's one section of the heavyweight championship, and that was huge. So it's like you got to bring those things home, because that is what makes British boxing the biggest. You know, that's what will make it bigger. You know, the fights in the US are big because there's big fights in the US. And for us to be able to say, you know, we've had Klitschko and AJ, you know, we've had those fights. The titles were in Germany for how many years? Fury had to go over there and win them. To say, go down to Wembley and the best heavyweight in the world is going to be determined on the land of where them men are from, mad. But peas, it's all about peas, isn't it? And money talks.
Especially in this game, more than any other.
Listen, in the whole world, it's all about the peas. If the peas can bring you, you'll go. And why not? They have to secure their families. They got to secure their people. They, you know, and that's what matters ultimately. Well, as fans, we're going to be happy to see them scrap, regardless of wherever it is. We're both going to tune in, no matter where it is.
You got a side you're picking?
Oh, I'm going with Fury. AJ is improved a massive amount, and he gets more and more dangerous the more time you give him to learn. And that's something that I've realized. He hasn't been boxing that long, and also he got thrown into the deep end very early, so he wasn't allowed to learn and adapt. It was kind of like, do what we tell you, this works, now go out and achieve. And he did. Now he's starting to become his own fighter, and you can see that in the Pulev fight. He's really starting to experiment new things. But I feel like Fury has been on that journey a lot longer. Fury's already been through those things of learning the type of fighter he wants to be, whether it's getting dropped against Steve Cunningham, whether it's hard fights against Derek Chisora, you know, whether it's the draw against Wilder the first time and not bullying him enough to then making the change in the second fight. I feel like Fury's been on that path a lot more, and especially in his personal life, going through what he did to come out the other side. And I feel he is a lot further along that journey than AJ is, and that's why he'll win.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that argument. I've heard that one definitely before. And you're right about AJ. In the small time he has improved, is come on a crazy amount. I mean, there's no joke when you become undisputed, unified champion of the world, Olympic champion, and then beat the likes that he did. He's not really faced bombed. You know, he's faced good fighters, especially from his Dylan White fight. But even before then, the journeymen that he did face were strong, solid journeymen that a lot of people
like Matt Skelton and people like that, and you know Kevin Johnson, good fighters, like people who did have their time, you know. So AJ, good fighter, always improving, but I think Fury, it's got a bit too much in the arsenal.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, I appreciate your time, my friend. Thank you for coming on. Obviously, we're looking forward to his fight when he does fight. Sometime he said. At this point, we're gonna look out for it. When
it's announced, get me back on and we'll talk about it.
Definitely. We'll when the COVID restrictions are done, you can train me to fight Adam Solid. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh, you're trying to get me back into coaching.
Listen, I need one session with the Trill, and then I'll know what I need to do. That's all I need to know. One session, and then we know. We're ready. But now, I appreciate your time, bro. Make sure to check out his channel. I'm sure you already have, but he's got a big interview dropping with BJ Flores, the coach of Jake Paul. So be sure to stay tuned for that and subscribe to the channel for the next episode.